You're such an asshole.
Hello, old sick Cappy here. I don't know why I'm sick. I've been getting great sleep, and nothing. I've just gotten worse actually. So maybe if I go hit the gym. Which, don't email me, ladies. I know you'll all want to be my mother. Like, oh, you should get. I thank you. I appreciate it. But the old captain gets healthier. Actually, I'm gonna go work on my shed. That's obviously logically the solution. Anyway, we have a request, and if you have a request, go to assholeconsulting.com, where you can send me your questions and your fucking money, and I will answer them for a small fee. Dear Mr. Asshole, I've been following your YouTube channel for a while, and I've decided I could probably also use your advice. To explain where I'm coming from, I grew up in the Czech Republic. After high school, which we finish at 19 years old, I decided to go for architecture engineering. After 2 years, it takes 4 to get a bachelor's. I realized that I can't continue, not because I am unproductive or dumb, my IQ is around 130, but because it meant I would have to continue doing the same kind of slave labor for somebody for the next 10 years before I could afford to get my own LTR, or I presume license, and actually start doing something creative. All that in a country where the average annual income is $10,000. Yeah, and the architecture market here sucks too. I think this just isn't my opinion. Architecture is absolutely one of the worst degrees you can get in the United States based on employment prospects. And my best friend is an architect. And watching him, this guy's in his 50s now, and watching him and all the bullshit he had to endure just to maybe design a couple buildings, that market is flooded. I cannot recommend enough that you don't become an architect. I recommended that you start an architect company with your own money and you hire architects. That's a way to get into architecture, but do not go and actually become an architect. All right. The idea was driving me nuts. I had kind of an existential crisis. I was no longer able to force myself to do it. I quit the university, made my parents angry, and started to look for a job. Well, that's good that you look. I know your parents are angry, but you made the right choice there. If you know you don't want to do it for sure, you're just wasting your parents' time and your parents' money and your money, not to mention the government's money and the taxpayers' money, if the people over in the Czech Republic are stupid enough to actually subsidize people's higher education. After some time, I moved to the Middle East to work as a flight attendant. You are like a regular Adam Piggott, aren't you? I did not expect that myself. I knew from the beginning that's not the kind of life for me. I only came for the experience and change of pace to clear my head. But 2 years between basic bitches and passengers who don't even know how to flush the toilet was just enough. Now, 2 years later, I still have no idea what I want to do with my life. Me and my best friend, she lives in the Czech Republic. She's finishing her master's in state administration this spring. Saved some money, decided to quit our jobs and go somewhere abroad together for a year or two. Probably Canada, because we want to take a look across the Great Pond, and we love winter. You guys are insane. And if you're going to go to Canada, you are definitely going to get... Look, over here, over in the Czech Republic and Central Eastern Europe, you got a lot of nice big mountains protecting you. You get to Canada, it's a big-ass fucking flat plain of nothingness, and that wind comes barreling down, and nothing stops that Arctic winter from hitting. You are going to be miserable in Canada. So I would, if you're going to come, if you want to see Canada in winter, come in February, okay? Because then at least you don't have to suffer December and January. Come late February, I'd say early March, you'll still see plenty of winter. You'll still see plenty of snow. There'll be lots of caribou running around. Don't worry, you'll get that. But I don't know if you guys are on centigrade or Fahrenheit over there or Celsius or Fahrenheit in the Czech Republic. But in Canada, it can easily minus 40, minus 50 degrees. And that's not even in the fucking Arctic Circle. So, yeah, Canada's great. British Columbia, or Canadian Rockies, Banff, Jasper, absolutely beautiful, absolutely stunning, absolutely worth going and visiting. But yeah, I would not be doing it in winter. But you'll find out. You're young. You'll learn on your own. So in short, I'm a 24 years old, lazy good-for-nothing who is searching for some low-level, low-effort, well-paid job. You're not going to find it. Stop it right there. Stop it with this I'm under 30 and somehow the dream is going to... There is no such job as a low-effort, well-paid job. There just isn't. Okay, there isn't. They only exist if you happen to be like Zuckerberg. You come upon a really great business idea, and then it is the efficiencies of the business idea that's novel and new as it's rolling on. People all want to pay. They just pay you tons of money for it. Then it's sort of easy, but even then, Mark Zuckerberg's been working 60, 70, 80 hours a week. A lot of people give me guff, asshole, because yeah, I had to work a security shift, program this. It takes a lot of work. It took work. But there's no such thing as no effort. There's fun effort, but it's still hard. It still takes effort. So knock it off with this. Okay, here's one thing, okay? If you're a good-looking girl, there it is. Porn, sex, prostitution, or getting married. That's the only place that is not. And even then, you got to stay in shape, and that takes effort. Okay? So knock it off. It doesn't exist in the real world. High pay, low effort. Does not fucking exist. Because I don't have enough dedication to get a STEM degree. I want to have time left for my hobbies. But maybe I could get some certificate. Any advice on what are my options? Also, anything else you would recommend so 2 young girls would avoid some common mistakes in the big world? I would prefer this to be a video reply if you think it would be worth it. Also, please let me know if I should clarify some points on my questions. Thank you for your response and calculations. Have a nice day. Thank you. Well, thank you very much. Okay, let's... Any advice on what your education option? Okay, here's the deal. One, this isn't even about your education. I think what you're doing right now is brilliant. Okay? If you don't know what you want to do, you shouldn't be investing money into your future. This is the number one mistake American kids make, and I'm sure the rest of Western civilization makes. And that is, we are programmed and brainwashed by our parents to immediately go to college. And by God, if you don't go to college, you'll burn, you're no son or daughter of mine. And then the parents get pissed off, they get their tits in a bundle, and then it causes strife and struggle at home. Now, the problem in going down that route where you force everyone to go to college or you force someone into a career, you got to decide it now, is that it's almost a guarantee you're going to choose the wrong career because you don't know yourself. You're too busy trying not to fall asleep in school. You haven't explored this world. And not until you do that are you going to start learning about yourself. What do you want to do in life? And then after exploring the world, I hate to use the term find yourself, but I call it self-knowledge. That's more. Finding yourself is the bullshit women do when they're going on their first divorce. Self-discovery, knowing thyself, is an important journey that every young person must make before they invest in their future. Okay? Because otherwise the money is just going to be wasted. And that's what you're doing now. You and your girlfriend are going to go out. You ain't got no kids. You're young. Abso-fucking-lutely. Go to Canada in winter because I guarantee you, you're going to have decades worth of stories like, hey, did you remember when we thought it was a great idea to go to Canada in January? Oh, we didn't know it was that cold. You'll tell your kids and grandkids that. You guys will have fun. But along this process, you will figure out who you are and what you want to do. Okay? And where you want to live. And that's all good. Right? But it's going to take time. It's going to take time. You're not going to know, oh, this is what I want to do. You thought it was architecture, you figured out it wasn't. Boom. You made a brilliant decision getting the fuck out and dropping out of school to go and recalibrate, rethink your life strategy. Now, this doesn't mean you and your girlfriend go run around grabbing each other's boobies over in a fucking tit-frozen tundra of the Canadian North. You have to also be contemplating, theorizing, and philosophizing about what you'd like to do. Now, I got a book, I'm going to recommend it, like it's exactly what you got to do. But while you're out and exploring Canada, maybe the United States, you, at night, on your downtime, when you're thinking, you got to be researching the different educational opportunities or careers or things that might be of interest to you. And this doesn't mean you have to take classes online. You have to actually go and pay tuition. It doesn't. There's plenty of YouTubes and tutorials and Khan's Academy and everything's on your internet. You should be spending at least an hour a day finding out what it's going to be. Because I got news for you. You and your girlfriend do not have the money or the finances to travel around Canada for the rest of your life. You're going to have to go and get a plan together. All right? So while you're going around figuring things out, while you're in different worlds and your different countries, you're going to learn more about yourself. This will help you make that decision. But at the same time, you should be evaluating potential career options, potential educational options in different fields that might be of interest to you. And you can already whittle it down by knowing you got to go into STEM. I think you know in STEM and IT, and maybe, you know what, you don't have the dedication to get through a STEM degree right now, fine. But if you know, like, boy, I'd really like to become a chemical engineer, well, nothing says you can't go and enroll online at an accredited institution and take a class or two while you're traveling around. Especially nowadays with the internet, you should be able to find some place that offers an accredited class in the field that you want, and you just kind of take it at your leisure. You travel around the world. Shit, fucking spend a decade traveling around the world. Ain't like someone's gonna hire you and pay you a lot of money at 24, let alone when you're 30. Alright, so you got plenty of time. I mean, don't fucking be lazy about it either, but there's no rush. There's no, I gotta figure this out now. So, your part-time job, your mandatory part-time job, is at night and in your downtime to start figuring out what it is you want to do in life and where you belong, career-wise. So that's what I would recommend. Now, specific things, there's things you could do that don't require a 4-year degree or a bachelor's degree. You have your trades. Unfortunately, the trades are going to require you to actually physically be there because you can't learn welding over the internet. You can't learn to become an electrician over the internet. So that's one drawback of the trades. But then there's IT. You can definitely learn how to program Python and C# and do computer networking over the internet. You don't need to physically be there. So you might want to look into things like Programming Bootcamp, the various certifications online. What I'm recommending, all my clients do, it's up to you, but boy, if you can get proficient, if you can get a skill in something that does not require you to physically be at a job, like programming, like being able to VPN in or RDP in, access a computer remotely and do work from there. If you can get a skill or a trade that allows you to work remotely, that's going to make your life a lot more enjoyable and a lot easier. But it doesn't have to be. I mean, you could actually be a computer repairman. You could act, but then you got to physically be there to repair the computer. So, these are options. Now, I can't tell you what it is to do. What can help you? Oh shit! Did I mail out my other book? I did. God dang it. This book is a good help. Worthless, I wrote it. It's available in paperback and Kindle and audio. So if you and that'd be a brilliant thing to download. You and your girlfriend spend, I don't know, 15, 20 bucks, whatever it is on Audible. And then when you girls are driving in your car road tripping, you listen to it. You guys have conversations about what should I major in, what are the good degrees, what are the bad degrees. And this will be progress. That'll be part of your homework. Yeah, but it is largely going to be, one, what pays well, and then two, what are you interested in? And then after that, it really is up to you. That's the work that you got to do. Okay. So yeah. Also, anything you'd recommend so two young girls would avoid some common mistakes in the big world? Well, mistakes, don't go to shitty third world countries like a lot of these British women do, or they go and they fall in love with some fucking Akbar down in Morocco, and they find out that he lied to them and took all their money. There was another article recently of a gal who divorced or broke up with her fiancé in Britain. I don't know why it's always the Britain broads. And she found her Jamaican lover, and then she found out after she wired him all this money. I think you're a little bit too smart for that. Basically, don't be a sex tourist idiot, okay? It's more the domain of 40, 50-year-old desperate women, but that's it. So just avoid war-torn areas. Go to safe places. If it's just you two young girls, I would avoid Wyoming. That's what I would avoid. Or at least Casper and Gillette. But otherwise, no, the world should pretty much be your oyster. I would travel cheaply. If you're here in the North America, I'm not a big fan of Mexico. Not because of the drug or the danger or the skeezy guys, in the case of you gals. In which case, yeah, you're going to get groped down there. It's just like, It's okay. I want a warm place where there's a beach. Well, then go to Florida. Okay? Much safer, much cleaner. You guys speak English, obviously. I don't know if you speak Spanish. There's just no reason to go to Mexico. There just isn't. One thing that is cool about it is the old Incan ruins. That's fucking cool shit. But unless you don't have that interest in archaeology, Mexico I would avoid in terms of North America. The United States and Canada, though, plenty to do. You're relatively safe. And then what I'm also going to recommend, I don't have it, I have another book called Reconnaissance Man. That is exactly what you girls are doing. It's, hey, don't go to college. you should go and figure out who you are first, and I recommend going on a 2-year road trip. That sounds exactly what you guys are doing. And in the book, I detail all the different places to go. I methodically go through all the places in the United States, some in Canada. Like, try this, you must hit that, you must not hit it. So it's kind of a travel guide, but then it is couched in its ulterior motive. The purpose I'm recommending these places is not, because it's pretty. It's so that you can figure out who the fuck you are and where you belong in this world. And then, when you say, I am meant to become a doctor, then you go and you invest in your future and your future infrastructure. But until that point in time and you don't know what to do, you're exactly doing what I recommend in that book. So the 2 books I recommend, not only because it profits me, but because it's going to directly address your concerns, is Worthless and Reconnaissance Man. Especially since you girls are coming here to North America. But real quick, see, there's not a lot of mistakes. I mean, it's common sense. Don't go into fucking North Philly. Don't go into Southside Chicago. Matter of fact, just stay the fuck off the entire east side of the country. Not because the entire east side is dangerous. There's just nothing fucking there. It just really is. Oh, New York. Oh my goodness. New York. Not you. New York. Everything cool in the United States is on the western side. On the west side of the Mississippi. So I would definitely be hitting Denver. Absolutely go to Colorado. Colorado is fun as fuck. If you insist on going to Canada, I would kind of headquarter out of Calgary, because then you get to see the Canadian Rockies, and you get to see things like Banff, Jasper, Revelstoke. So take a look at a map, kind of see that. Calgary is kind of their Denver. Canada's Denver. It's right there on the plains, but then the mountains are right up against it. It's a large enough metropolitan city. You'll find everything. I'd recommend you don't go during winter. I recommend you go during summer, but you girls aren't going to listen to me. But if you want to do something during winter, what I'd strongly recommend is you go to the southern part of the United States. Florida, if you want. I personally would headquarter out of Vegas. That's where I would go. And then that's going to put you within driving range of a ton of fucking shit within the United States. So I would be going headquarter in Vegas, drive up to Zion, drive up to Moab, Grand Canyon. What else is out there? The Hoover Dam. There's a ton of hiking. It's just so much shit to see. If you want to go to California, oh my goodness. Yes, it's right next door. You can go to California if you want. But that's kind of the changes I would make to your plan. I would save Canada for summer. But if you want to come to winter, Denver's all right. Denver's a great place to go during winter because it's not too cold. And then if you want all the snow in the world and all the snow sports and winter sports, dude, the greatest skiing in the world, snowmobile, everything right there. So anyway, I hope that helps out. You guys are on the right path. I know it doesn't feel like. I know you feel like you're lost. Read Adam Pigot's book. That's another book you might want to do. That's also available in Kindle. It's called Pushing Rubber Downhill. And he's kind of like the same thing. He's your age, maybe a little bit younger. He just hopped on his motorcycle, guys, from Australia, and he drove across from Perth all the way to Sydney to meet his girlfriend, who ended up not calling him. Didn't even have the courtesy to dump him. She just never returned his calls. And then this leads, I won't ruin the story for you, but then that leads into an amazing life. And at the time, he did a review recently on Reconnaissance Man, where at the time he didn't know. He thought he was a loser. He thought, like, kind of like you, I'm a loser. And he didn't realize that he was light years ahead of his peer groups. Absolutely. So you girls are doing it right. Just, God almighty. Yeah, don't become the typical ski bum in the United States where I'm going to go find myself, and you never spend any time on self-improvement, actually figuring out what you want in life. And then you're just like doing pot, and all of a sudden you're my age and you're smoking pot, and you're still a fucking ski bum, which I guess is a better life than working in banking, but you seem to have like, you want a little bit more out of life. And so that, again, I can't tell you what that is, but reading Worthless, reading Reconnaissance Man, reading Pushing Rubber Downhill, that's all going to help you out tremendously. Anyway, best of luck to you. If you ever come through the Twin Cities, let me know. Toodles.